Mumbai air pollution has been grabbing more headlines nowadays as compared to the usual newsmaker Delhi. Despite receding winters and the onset of summers, the air quality refuses to improve. The air quality index in the financial capital hovers around 300 as foul air continues to trouble residents. Just to give you perspective of how bad it is, sample this. While Delhi AQI is currently near 100, which is in the moderate category, Mumbai is trading in the poor category. Not just that, it was only last month that Mumbai was ranked as the world's second most polluted city according to the Swiss Air Tracking Index. But the BMC seems to have woken up to the horrors and is also set to implement an air pollution mitigation plan in the city. The civic body is initiating a multi-level monitoring strategy which aims to tackle the four major causes for the deteriorating air quality, namely construction dust, traffic congestion, industries and waste burning. But how effective will this plan be? Can setting up 14 air quality monitoring stations really help? Will it be enough? Do measures like planting trees make a difference? Let's get into what is really causing this air pollution. And is this now the new normal? What can be done? Is it time for slightly more drastic measures, the kind which we have seen in Delhi over time? To speak more on this, I'm joined now by Niranjan Hiranandani, Chairman of Hiranandani Group, Dr. Salil Bendre, he's Head of Department of Pulmonology at Nanavati Max Super Speciality. Bhagwan, Kesbhat, Founder and CEO of Waatavaran, is also with me on the show. Welcome to all of you and thank you for speaking with us today. Mr. Kesbhat, let me begin by just understanding, is what we're seeing a temporary phenomenon? Because that's what we thought, say, in the month of Jan and Feb, that because the weather is cooler, when the weather becomes warmer, things will change. That really hasn't happened. It's in fact worsened. Why are we seeing such a bad bout of pollution and chronically really in Mumbai?
So thanks, Tamanna, raising this debate on the ET now. And we have been consistently been seeing last 5 years the air quality in the city of Mumbai. And we have been seeing that along with the industrial emission, the transport, uncontrolled management in terms of transport front and other reason on the waste front are being the majorly the responsible for the emission rising dramatically. But if we see the last, it's steadily and steeply been increasing the air quality and deteriorating the air quality in the city of Mumbai. So we have been seeing that after the lockdown, the most of the developmental activities along with the metros, bullet trains and other constructions activities are also been happening in the cities as well. So this has been we can say there are multiple factors which has been responsible for making the city's air quality more worse compared to the last years. And we need to take the multidimensional intervention and address the air quality to have the better to breathe for the citizen of Mumbai.
So for sure, you know, what environmentalists say time and again is that this has been building up. This has been coming over time. And Mr. Hiranandani, a big sort of culprit that is being spoken about nowadays is construction. Massive construction which has started with full force, making up for perhaps the months in pandemic that the industry could not construct. You know, more interest coming in, etc., return to economy, but that seems to be coming at a cost. Is the industry in conversation with authorities on how to minimize this?
Tamanna, we are equally concerned. We provide housing and the quality of life. I belong to Mumbai. I was born in Mumbai, brought up in Mumbai, did all my life of 72 years and now next week 73 years in Mumbai. So I'm as concerned as any other citizen of Mumbai. And we are working on this tremendously. Yes, of course, construction does contribute to the environment negative issues, and there is no doubt about it. And real estate also needs to do whatever mitigation it can. You can't stop construction. 50% of our population of Mumbai live in jhoppadpattis. Are we going to stop construction and give them no housing at all? It's not like that. But you definitely need to work on these issues. The municipal corporation has set up new guidelines for the purposes of construction in terms of how the tires have to be cleaned, how the dust and other things have to be mitigated on the site. The Maharashtra Pollution Control Board have set measures as to how construction activity can be done, how the dumping of the waste is required to be done, how the trucks have to be covered. These are all mitigation methods. They cannot eliminate. You have factories like RCF and others. They also contribute to pollution to the city. So we have power plants and other things also contributing to the thing. Industry also is there, of course, a lot less than what it used to be before. All required to be mitigation. The corporation has given a new series of activity which they are going to do, which will bring mitigation of this thing, is not going to eliminate. As far as the reason for this pollution sudden increase, which is there, is actually that the winds, the climatic change winds have definitely been reduced. Earlier, being on the sea, a lot of wind which blew away all this dust and other particles which were there. So we have to do all the measures, convert all cars into EV vehicles over a period of time. Definitely, corporation and Ding are doing EV vehicles as well as CNG.
Mr. Hiranandani, till the wind factor changes and the climatic factor changes, and we've talked about how El Nino, etc., is also having an issue. Does it make sense to at least reduce the impact of construction? You're right, there are some measures like, provide dust screens along the external face of buildings where construction is in progress, sprinkle water on curtains at ground floors in the open spaces, washing of tires of vehicles while exiting from the site, covering all vehicles transporting debris, construction material, all of that is there. But for some time, because they did this in Delhi, when numbers were like this, they did it in Delhi.
We can stop all cars on the roads also for some time, and I'm sure that will also help. But I don't think that's the real solution to the city's movement. What we need to do is a multiple direction way we do. In construction, also we need to mitigate. In industry, also we need to mitigate. The cleaning of roads, washing of roads, watering of the roads, which will prevent dust from moving up, also will need to be done. The kind of pollution that which is there in terms of waste which is lying on the streets, which have been dumped over there and not collected. So it's multiple cleaning of. So Tamanna, there's not going to be one thing that we need to do, including construction. And I think a responsibility is definitely there on the developers in order to mitigate it. But stopping is not an answer. We are now going to provide 300 kilometers of metro in the next 2 years. That will reduce the amount of traffic which is on the road.
Right.
But do you stop the construction of the metro?
No, but what you said is very important, because it's not just private construction of people building and frankly more luxury flats being built than for all of those living in jhopar-pattis. But it's also construction that the government is undertaking. Metro, coastal road, Trans-Harbour Link, all of that is happening together.
Tamanna, completing the construction of metro, 330 kilometers of metro will be added next 2 years.
Right.
That will reduce the traffic on the roads by at least 35%. That itself will be a big relief in terms of pollution control that is going to take place. But yes, we do have the problem of construction of the metro. We are going to start concretizing of roads. There's a huge project of concretizing the road. That itself will cause pollution because dust will fly. But if you don't concrete the roads, then the roads are going to be there. So what we need to do, Tamanna, in all these measures, the government, the corporation, individual developers, industry, all have to join hands in order to mitigate it.
Now here's the thing. We're talking about this like a long-term solution kind of a issue. Dr. Salil, till all of this happens, metro will be built, everything will happen, we'll move to electric vehicles, CNG vehicles. What is happening today? Because what is happening in our hospitals, in our OPDs is nothing short of an epidemic, isn't it?
Absolutely. So Tamanna, thanks for inviting me today. And in advance, birthday wishes to Mr. Hiranandani for his birthday next week. So we are going through a really, really tough situation in the clinics. So whatever said and done about the infrastructure, the pollution and the road, but what the patient is suffering, what the people are suffering cannot be actually expressed in words, because the symptoms of cough, the breathlessness, patients coming with sore throat, having to take off from their work, children having to take off from their schools, even exams getting affected. I mean, you name it, and every age group is being affected. We are seeing hospitalization rates going up. We are seeing patients with asthma increasing to twice the number of people, exacerbations. And it's as we are discussing, it's a combination of everything which we put together. It's the weather, the temperature, the humidity, the infrastructure, the pollution, the traffic jams which we are experiencing, and the debris which is left on the roadside, which actually further slows down the movement of the traffic, further exhaust which is being pushed into the air. And it's definitely a testing time for the medical fraternity, especially pulmonologists, to see our patients suffering this way.
No, Dr. Salil, I want to understand the impact on the human body when you have these kind of AQI levels. And I know anecdotally kids are definitely suffering. Kids are suffering badly. They can't breathe. People are wondering whether they should put air purifiers at their homes. Will that really help? Should you go out with a mask? Should you avoid exercising? Are we now at that stage?
So see, it's a very, very pertinent point which you made up. People feel that the air pollution affects only the lungs. Okay, but it's a combination of a lot of gases, including carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, there is nitrous oxide, there is suspended particulate matter, and all of them not only impact the lungs, but also the brain. People have got headaches, they have got sinusitis, they have got giddiness. So there are tremendous health implications seen in all this. And we are actually at a loss of even tackling them, because what we advise is use masks, but masking is maybe reducing to some extent, but the pollution which comes in, people are actually closing their window, but they can't keep their windows closed forever. We need to have fresh air, but now the fresh air has come along with the suspended particulate matter, which is affecting the airways. So I think it has to be a complete approach from the bureaucrat, from the infrastructure, from the municipal corporation, to sit together the way they are doing and get these mitigation plans into running as soon as possible.
It is actually much more serious than we give credit to, Bhagwan Kesbhat. Some of the things that the BMC is trying to do, is that going to be enough? So they're actively, among other things, watering the roads so that the dust doesn't fly as much. Some measures for the construction industry, etc. Is that enough right now?
Tamanna, definitely this is not enough. But when we see the last 3-4 years in the city of Mumbai, before the lockdown and after the lockdown, like before the lockdown, Mr. Praveen Pardesi, when the municipal commissioner of Mumbai has taken the drastic the decision on the like slashing down the fare of Mumbai's the transport system of the BST buses, the parking penalties in the city of Mumbai. So there were a comprehensive kind of the suggestions came forward, but afterward, then again there were setbacks. So now after the lockdown, of course, the city administration has done the definitely on the electric EV transportation front, the something a really good job. But if we see the larger scenario, it's baby steps. The when the citizens are being in the pain, they are suffering, and they're every day we're getting call tamannas from on the Waatavaran's phone numbers, and people are complaining that the after the 4 months their babies and the in the families are suffering, and we have seen in the reporting from the all the newspapers and all the private hospital doctors and the doctors, and of course Dr. Salil is also here. The 50% patients are OPDs are suffering of cold, cough, asthmas, and respiratory disease. So this is not the time to sit back idly and just watch it. We need immediate actions. We need to have
This immediate action, because it's very generic to say we need immediate action. What is this immediate action?
So in the Delhi, the Supreme Court and the NCT has issued the GRAP, the Graded Response Action Plan.
Yeah.
How the city of Mumbai is not been issued the graded response plan, and when there is advisories of health is being provided to the citizens, when to come out, when not to come out, what precaution need to be taken in terms of health, in terms of senior citizens or children. And they have been getting victim of every day when the children and the women are coming at the evening time outside when the quality has been bad. So
Right. So you know, the other point is, Dr. Salil, the people living over here cannot wait that there will be some great plan and then, you know, their lives will be saved or their lungs will be saved. We're suffering it every day. What do we as citizens do today?
As a medical person or a doctor, see, we are going to be having as preventive measures as possible. And at the moment when we step out, the only preventive measure which you have is your immunity and the mask which is here.
Do air
So
purifiers
immunity is
help at
something
all? Do air purifiers help at all?
No. Frankly speaking, there is no such data which says that air purifiers are going to be helpful or reducing the affection of the lungs, because we are talking of microns and smaller particulates which are going to affect the lower airways, which the purifiers really don't make much of a difference or a significant difference. So I don't think that is something which is to be, really pushed into. But yes, one thing is there, that if there are some ways of traffic rules where it can be, put up for specific times of offices or specific times of schools, which can be changed so that there is no overlap, no slowing down of the moving traffic, maybe that may have some impact on the exhaust levels, on the pollution levels in that specific area.
So it has to be a multi-pronged approach. Mr. Hiranandani, you're very right. It's not only about one industry. But yes, very ubiquitous is that the fact that construction has picked up private as well as government. And maybe something can be done there. So I want to thank all of you and of course wish Mr. Hiranandani a very happy birthday in advance. And hope that we have cleaner air sooner rather than later in Maximum City. Thank you to all of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now we've started the trading week